So let's
No.
get into what the states are doing here because this is where things get really interesting. Let's start with New York, which, as always, seems a little bit ambitious.
Yes, that's one way to put it. So, New York has some of the most expansive proposals right now. Things like the Earned Time Act bills. So, that's A1085 and S342. So, these bills would expand how much time can be earned off a sentence, shift towards a more structured, less discretionary system, treat rehabilitation efforts such as education and work programming as a central part of the sentence, not just an optional extra.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's not just you behaved, but you actually improved.
Yes, exactly. And then there are also some more targeted bills. As always, there's a massive bills from New York because New York just spits out bills all the time. So the targeted bills are expanding merit time for drug cases. There's one about increasing credit caps from 6 to 24 months. And another one about rewarding college education with earlier release, which is nice. Get yourself a college degree, you get out of prison quicker.
That does seem like a good idea. But it's not all in one direction, right?
No, not at all. And there's also a bill requiring people to serve 80% of their sentence before earning credits, which sort of pulls things in the other way. So even in a reform-heavy state like New York, there's tension between expansion and restriction here.
Right. And it's interesting because, you talk about drug offenses and there's people all over the country who are serving heavy time for marijuana use or marijuana possession when a lot of states have made it legal now. So again, broken system. All right. On to the next state, Illinois. They feel a little bit like a philosophical battleground.
Yes, that's exactly right. So Illinois isn't just debating policy, it's debating the purpose of punishment itself. So on one side, you have bills expanding eligibility, you have increasing earning rates, even more moving towards day-for-day credits. And on the other side, of course, you've got bills restricting credits, and you've got removing credits for home confinement, and you've got narrowing eligibility.
Okay, so the core question here becomes, does time outside of prison count the same as time inside?
Yes. So this is about saying there are alternatives to prison, particularly these days with electronic tagging. I mean, that's a huge way of sort of expanding the nature of punishment and avoiding a lot of the ill effects of actually sending people to prison. So is it about maximizing confinement, or is it about incentivizing progress towards becoming a sort of productive, good, honest member of society? Because as we know, prison is generally the worst possible place for someone to go if you want them to be rehabilitated. And once you've done your time, of course, and you get out, your chances of getting a regular job are very, very low.
Right, and it's also interesting because there are programs where they have prisoners working for the states. We talked earlier this year about California's firefighter program, where they are having inmates leave prisons and fight fires, and there's a huge issue there with pay, danger, things like that. But they are now trying to look at that in a more holistic way and train them up, give them pathways so that when they are able to leave prison, they have a career path, they can do that. And, being a firefighter is an amazing public service and a good way to give back to your community, but two, is a really good job. And it's amazing to give people these types of pathways. There's interesting stuff. Again, broken system. Okay, on to Missouri. Sarah's theme for the day, broken system.
It is very broken.
So Missouri takes a little bit less of a philosophical kind of approach and more cautious?
Yes, as you might expect from Missouri. So Missouri's approach really is, we'll do the reforms, but we'll include warning labels. So for example, making earned credits mandatory instead of discretionary, expanding compliance credits, but pairing them with stricter sentencing rules and reinforced minimums.
Okay, so it's kind of like, you can earn this, but don't get too comfortable.
Yes, that's right. It's a political balancing act. You imagine in a state like Missouri, really, your reforms need to still sound really tough, even if they are including these other very sensible and sort of practical steps as well.